Wonderful. I see some people joining, and I see some names that I saw on Sunday or Saturday, so welcome back. I'll just keep repeating this as people are coming in. If you haven't already, if you didn't attend class on Saturday and you don't already have your props gathered, this is a great time to go grab your props. So what I was recommending people go ahead and gather from their homes are a couple of blankets. I have some nice thin blankets like this. It doesn't have to be a big cushy blanket, but if you have that, you're welcome to bring that too. A couple of towels, and then also just a couple of pillows. And if you have one long, like just a regular bed pillow, I don't know what those are called, but the pillow you put your head on in bed, like a regular pillow, one of those can be really nice to bring along as well. If you don't have one of those things, or you have extra of those things, just bring them. You're welcome. If you have no blankets, bring more towels. If you have no pillows, bring more blankets and pillows. I'm sorry, blankets and towels, because all of those, we're just using these to help prop your body. So the more the merrier when it comes to props. Yes, and we're going to be starting. I'm going to go ahead and give everyone a couple more minutes to gather in, and also so then you can all go and grab your things. Okay, and good morning from Toronto. Good morning from San Diego. Hello, everybody. Wonderful. So again, if you have not already gathered your props, now is the perfect time. So we would love a couple towels, a couple blankets. Nice thin blankets are great, but whatever you have works. A couple pillows. I'm going to give you an example. I like to have two. These are just my couch pillows that I put in the pillowcase. And then I usually have one long, just regular bed pillow. I don't know what those are called. I'm going to have to look up what the specific name of that is, but just a bed pillow. But again, if any of those things you don't have, just grab whatever props you do. And it's just to help you be really restful and comfortable in each pose. So I'll give you a couple more minutes. If anybody has questions before we really get started, let me know. And the chat box is open, so you can just type right in there. And I saw one more person join, so welcome. And if you haven't already, right now we're just making sure if you don't have your props gathered for restorative, go ahead and grab those now. So again, that's a couple towels, a couple blankets, a few pillows, whatever you have. You want to gather as many props around you as possible so that when you're settling into the pose, you really can be well supported and comfortable. I'll give everyone just one more minute and then I'll get us started. Turning my phone to airplane mode so that I am not drawn away at any time. I recommend everyone else do the same if you're able. Just for the next hour. So you have 1 hour to not have to think about the world beyond this space right now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Grace Lopez. I am a transformation coach, a yoga teacher, and a holistic chef. And I am so excited to practice restorative yoga again with you all today. I know I really needed it. It's really hot today, and there's just so many things going on in all of our lives. And I am really looking forward to practicing with you all today. So there is a chat box available. If at any time you have any questions, even if you see me here in practice, go ahead and type that question in, and then they're just going to let me know what your question is. So please don't hesitate. If you're ever in a pose and you're like, this isn't working and I need help figuring out how to make it work, please just feel free to type into that chat box. So we are going to be practicing restorative yoga today. And for anybody who wasn't with me on Saturday, I'll just give a brief explanation of what that is again. So restorative yoga is all about really giving our nervous systems a chance to rest and restore. So what does that look like? You know, we have so much going on, all these stress hormones over the last 6 months and just over life. You know, things come up all the time. And our nervous systems don't get that chance to really rest, really take a break. And it's different. Restorative yoga is different than sleeping. This is an opportunity for us to be awake. It's like wakeful napping. It's awake napping. It's a chance for our brain to not have to think about our body, to not have to think about our to-do lists, and just to be in this stillness. In the poses, we typically only do between around 4 to 6 poses, and they're held for a longer period of time. And there should be no stretching experience in these poses. These are not poses that you ever should have to breathe through, or let me just wait, it's only 5 more minutes, I can do it. That's not restorative yoga. So the beauty of restorative yoga is we prop our bodies, we use the pillows and the blankets and the towels to prop our bodies into the pose so that we're not experiencing any active stretching, and so that we're getting the benefits of the pose, the energetics of the pose, without our brains having to think about our bodies. With that, I come from a practice where we practice in silence, so I never have music on. And that's what I always recommend to people, because it gives your brain a chance to not have to think about the music. However, you're all at home alone and you're all muted. So for you today, a practice in silence does not feel available. You're welcome to put music on in your own home. And I just encourage you to maybe try it sometime without it. But this is a make your own adventure. So you do you. So again, with restorative yoga, I'm gonna walk you through each pose. And then we practice it. So it's not really a flow so much. But today, what we're going to be doing is one of my favorite practices, which is a restorative body roll. So I will show you each pose as we go along, and then you'll just kind of adjust yourself as you go. And again, if along the way you're struggling to adjust yourself and find comfort, feel free to hop up, write that in the chat box, and they'll let me know, and I'll help guide you through as best I can through our little video world. So before we get started in our first pose, we're just gonna go ahead and come to our mats, come to our blankets, come to our beds, and give ourselves a moment to center. So find a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. Find a comfortable long spine, belly button in, nice and open across the chest. Head floating above your spine as though there's a balloon. You have a string attached right to the center of your crown. Just your head is floating with ease. We're going to go ahead and turn our attention to our breath. We're going to start with taking 3 deep cleansing breaths to help us really settle into this moment. So what that looks like is we take a deep breath in through our nose, filling our belly, filling our diaphragm, filling our lungs, filling our whole bodies with oxygen. And on our exhale, we exhale with sound out through our mouth, releasing any tension that we are experiencing anywhere in our bodies. So go ahead and do 3 of those at your own pace. Whenever you're done with that, just return to a normal breath. In through your nose, out through your nose. Turn your attention to anywhere that your body is touching the ground or the floor. Even if you're 10 stories up, feel that connection through the floor, to the ground, to the earth below. Notice the roots that you have growing there, deep into the earth, helping keep you held strong and stable. Now turn your attention up your body to the crown of your head. And feel your connection right there to that beautiful sun that is here greeting us this morning, shining beautiful light in through your crown, down through your body. And then find the space in between, this beautiful heart space, right in the center of our being, right in the center of our chests. And in this space, find the place that brings you the most comfort. The space that it can be the place that you go within yourself, within the world, that brings you the most instant comfort, calm, joy. It might be like me, and it might be floating in the ocean, moving freely, the cool water against my skin. For you, this space might be a beautiful meadow, feeling the grass tickle your legs. It might be a memory. It might be a room in your house, wherever that place of just calm and comfort and ease is. Really go there for a moment. What does it smell like here? What does it sound like? Now that you've touched upon this space, throughout our practice, if at any time you find your mind getting called away to to-do list of today or tomorrow or the past, go ahead and know that you can return to this sound, to this feeling, the way this space is, and instantly be brought back to your calm space. Whenever you're ready, you'll go ahead and gently open your eyes, come back here to the mat, and we'll get started with our poses. So I'm going to be practicing with you today. And today is my signature body roll. So it's a restorative body roll. So what that's going to look like, normally I show you one pose, we practice it, and then I show you the next pose and we practice it. I'm going to show you a short series of poses because we don't have to make big changes between poses. So I'm going to show you what those are going to be now. And then while practicing, I'll just verbally cue you to move to the next pose. So what we're going to be doing in the restorative body roll is literally just doing a little, it's a little back bending practice, but just the gentlest back bending practice you can imagine. So we're going to be starting with our heads. So we'll be laying flat on the floor, on the bed, wherever you are. And in our first pose, we're going to be starting with our head with just a little bit of a lift underneath it. And that can be a pillow, it can be a rolled up blanket, it can be a towel, whatever is going to be comfortable for you there. If you need a little support under your neck, you can roll up that towel or pillow or blanket so you get that little roll right underneath. And if laying flat feels is a little hard on your low back, or if you just would like it because it feels nice, you can go ahead and roll up a towel or put a pillow beneath your knees, just to give a little bit of a rest there. So this will be our first pose. We're going to be holding this pose and all of these poses for 7 minutes each. So I'll cue you when it's time to move. So we start here in this first pose. In our next pose, we're going to be moving our little towel or blanket or whatever we've chosen to put underneath us. We're going to move it right beneath our shoulder blades. So the bottom of that blanket really rests kind of where a bra strap would be. So So we're getting a little bit of a lift to our upper chest. And then we'll be here for 7 minutes. And again, you can see I've chosen to keep something under my knees because that's what feels best for my back, but it's up to you, whatever's comfortable. And I'm checking in with myself in each of these poses to make sure it's something I can comfortably be in for 7 minutes without feeling like I'm having to work through it. For our third pose, and I'll be cueing you on all of these again, so don't worry, you don't have to memorize them. Our third pose, we're going to move that little lift, and I'm going to be putting it right beneath my low back. So really kind of in that space between my heart and the base of my spine, or my sacrum. So right in that space. So it's right beneath my belly button. So now I'm getting a little bit of a lift here in my belly. I'll be here for 7 minutes. And then I'm going to move my little lift here, my little bolster that I've created from this blanket. And I'm going to be placing it directly underneath my booty. So in that space between my tailbone and my sacrum. And you have a couple options here. You can do a restorative bridge pose where your feet are on the ground, knees are up, and your hips are just on that bolster. Or you can go ahead and continue that arch and have your legs out. We'll hold that for 7 minutes. And then the final part of the body roll is going to be to do a little lift to our legs. So you can stack pillows up, or you can put your legs up on the wall if you would prefer. We're just making sure that our feet are above our heart, and that ends the body roll portion of our practice today. We'll do a few more poses after that, but that's just going to be a little series that we'll jump into now. So if you haven't already, go ahead and get into that first pose, which I will cue you through again. We're just putting a little lift under our head, and if you would like a little lift under your knees. And then we'll have a little timer, a little bell that will go off at each interval, and I'll walk you through how to shift into the next pose. And if you have any questions, if anything feels uncomfortable, please speak up in the chat box. But otherwise, we'll go ahead and get started. Once you've found your way into the pose, go ahead and take a few of those deep cleansing breaths to help you really settle in to the mat, to the floor. And those breaths in through your nose, deep into your belly, filling up your whole body with oxygen, and on your exhale, out through your mouth with sound, releasing any tension. And take 3 of those at your own pace. And then just rest.
Take a couple more breaths here. When you're ready, go ahead and just move down that little lift that you've created out of the towel or the blanket or the pillow at whatever height feels good to you. You're going to put that just right beneath your shoulder blades, your upper back. So there's just a little bit of an arch, a little bit of a heart opening across your chest. And once you're comfortable here, you can take a few of those cleansing breaths to help you settle in. And knowing that at any point in this practice, in this body roll, if ever you start to feel uncomfortable, you're a little too high or not high enough, you're welcome to adjust again. We don't breathe through anything. We get ourselves comfortable and cozy. So in this heart open space, take those cleansing breaths, settle into the pose, and just rest. couple more breaths here. When you're ready, go ahead and move that little lift that you've created down to the space below your belly button. Space kind of between your heart and your sacrum. And you may notice that you want a little more lift here or a little bit less than what you had when it was underneath your shoulder blades. So make whatever adjustments feel good. And you may choose to find what's comfortable. Having your legs out may feel more comfortable right now. You also can place your feet on the mat with your knees up if that feels better. Just whatever feels like a pose that gives you that little belly lift, that little arch in your belly that you can hold comfortably and easily for the next 7 minutes. And once you've found that space, take a couple of those cleansing breaths to settle into the pose and just rest. couple more breaths here. When you're ready, you go ahead and place your feet, soles of your feet on your mat, knees pointed to the sky. You can just lift your hips up to move a blanket or pillow or towel into the space beneath your low back and the base of your spine. And you can choose to take this either as a restorative bridge, so you can keep your feet on the mat, knees pointed towards the sky. Just have that little lift. Beneath your booty. Or you can go ahead if you'd like a little bit more of that arch experience. You can stretch your legs out, maybe move that little lift that might have been beneath your knees, beneath your ankles. Whatever feels comfortable and easy for you to rest in for the next 7 minutes. So once you have found that space, go ahead and take a few more of those cleansing breaths, however many you need at your own pace. Just melt into the pose. few more breaths here. And when you're ready, then place your soles of your feet on your mat, knees towards the sky, to lift up so that you can remove your blanket. And we're going to go ahead and create a little lift for our legs, as high as you would like. You're also welcome to put your legs up on the wall if that's available to you. And if in this pose you would like a little pillow underneath your head, go ahead and do so now. We're just trying to get those feet up above our heart so that we can have all the energy, and the stagnant energy can flow out down through our root into the earth. We can awaken the rest of our body. So once you have found your comfortable place, if you would like, you can take a couple of those cleansing breaths to help you settle in, and then just melt. few more breaths here. And when you're ready, you push away whatever little blanket pillow lifts you had created. Roll to one side and gently push yourself back up to a seated position. So we have one more pose today. And for today's Shavasana, instead of laying on our back, we're actually going to do a front practice. Because anytime we do a back bending practice, we, as gentle as that might have been, we always want to counterbalance it by closing up, doing kind of a front bending practice. So I'm going to give you two options for your front Shavasana, and you can choose whatever feels best to you today. So you can do something as simple as taking a little bit of a blanket here and rolling it up to whatever level feels good, same as you did with the back practice. And we're just going to lay with it pressing onto our belly. And then you can put your head down either on one cheek, or you can put your forehead, make a little pillow out of your hands, and put your forehead down on that pillow. In this pose, you could also put a little lift underneath your ankles if that would feel good to you. The other option is you could actually do more like a child's pose if that feels like a better option today. So you would just stack up whatever pillows you have, whatever blankets you have to create kind of like a little bed for your body. You would put your toes together, open up those knees, and then just bend over those pillows. And again, you can either make a little pillow for your head, or you can turn your head to one side. And we're going to be in this pose for just 5 minutes, and I'll give you a heads up at the 2.5 minute mark when it's time to turn your head, so you don't get stuck on one side. So choose whatever feels best to you right now. And once you are settled into the pose, go ahead and take a couple of those cleansing breaths. Your hard work is done. You're in the Shavasana. And we'll just melt into the pose. So I'll keep track of the time for you so you don't have to worry about when to turn your head. You can just rest. And those in child's pose, if you need a little lift, a little additional lift, you can put a pillow or a blanket between your heels and your legs. Your head is facing to one side. Go ahead and gently lift your head and turn it the other direction. The rest of your Shavasana. Take a couple more breaths here. Whenever you're ready, if you're not already in child's pose, go ahead and push yourself back up to child's pose. Then slowly climb your way back up to a seated position on your mat. Place your hands together at heart center and send yourself a wave of gratitude for taking this time to practice today, to rest and restore, and just having a moment to yourself. And I close every practice with an Om. You're welcome to Om with me. It is the sound of infinity. It is the sound of the ocean becoming a wave, crashing into the sand to find its way back to the ocean and become a wave again. So I'm going to Om, and you're welcome to join. The light within me greets, honors, and celebrates the life within you. Namaste. So thank you everybody for practicing with me today. I really want to encourage everyone to drink a lot of water if you can after this. I know it seems like a really gentle practice. You know, you weren't really working out, but we still moved a lot of stuff around. You might have felt some of the energetics in that back bend, some emotions coming up. Flush that out. Flush any stuff out that's ready to be let go with some water. Enjoy all of your classes today. The schedule looks so beautiful. I hope you are all enjoying everything. And I will be back on Wednesday at 8 a.m. So if you'd like to join me again for Restorative on Wednesday, I'll see you then. Thank you so much. I'm here if anybody has questions in the meantime.